So Crinital asks, how do you find staff members for your film? Who do you pick as producer, editor, and so forth? I assume you pick local friends in the business as that is who is around you, but do you look outside of your area for, let's say, different film styles? Well, Crinital, I'm going to answer that question in a second. First, my name is Joe. I am the writer-director of Chicken Coop, and this vlog is all about Chicken Coop. It's all about the making of Chicken Coop, and I'm going to be putting this out as often as I can stand it. If you want to learn more about this really cool Christmas movie that we're doing, please check out the link in the description below. And if you guys have any questions or comments about filmmaking or anything having to do with, well, me, you can put it down there and I can make a video about it. So, how do you find staff members for your film? So, with Chicken Coop, kind of all over the place. I'm looking at the list of people here that have, well, they've agreed to work on the movie. So no one has signed anything yet. Like there's been no crew memos put out yet. Like no one is officially on the movie until like the ink is dry, basically. But these are the people that we've made a team out of, saying, hey, we're going to make a movie together. And I expect that some people, you know, they'll have better paying gigs come up or whatever, and they'll have to leave and we'll have to find someone else, maybe someone that they recommend, you know, whatever. You only need like a certain amount of people to make a film, basically. You got to have, you know, someone to tell the story. So you got to have a director. You got to have someone to tell the story about. So you got to have actors. Someone's got to hold the camera, and someone, assuming you're making a sound film, someone has to be on sound. But really, everything else is just to make the movie, well, good on a technical level. But on our little crew, I'm looking through here. I'll talk about our cast first. So Eric Wood actually worked on the 13th Cross, starred in the 13th Cross, which is coming out December 14th, by the way. And so when I wrote the script and I had a character of a certain age, he was the first person that I talked to about the part, and he liked the script and joined. Now, Monica Moore Smith, it was difficult finding someone to play the part that she plays, the role of Tanya. And what that required me to do was to ask around to the other filmmakers that I know, mostly from film school, because I was looking to produce this thing in Utah. So I was looking at local stuff, local to me. And basically looking for, okay, who are the best actresses in their 20s in Utah? Because, you know, this part, it's just really, really big, really difficult to play, a lot of pressure. So it had to be someone really experienced too, which is really hard to find. In this area, in Utah, a really experienced actor in their 20s. That is pretty difficult. And so, anyway, I had to watch a ton of little local movies. And basically narrowed it down to like a couple potentials, and then we had them audition, and Monica was by far the standout. Mark's work I have seen. He volunteers to do a whole bunch of short films for a whole bunch of people down in southern Utah. And ever since our movie debuted at Desertscape, and I watched a whole bunch of local films, basically, I was pretty blown away by Mark's performance in a lot of them. And kind of similar to the part of Tanya, the part of Abe was really hard to cast. So it just took me watching a whole bunch of stuff. There were other actors I was looking at, but eventually decided upon Mark. Parker Peterson, our director of photography, is a friend of mine from film school. Sterling Andrews, who is coming on as our gaffer, a friend of mine from film school. Austin Shadowald, someone I met on the film festival circuit. He also directs films, and he does cinematography and a whole bunch of stuff. And he's just a really cool dude. And so he's helping out. Melanie Browning is actually, she's our associate producer / social media advocate. She was actually on 13th Cross as one of our actors, and then she got into the local film scene and We talked about Chicken Coop. I can't remember exactly how the conversation went, but I actually met her through an open casting call for 13th Cross. We just put on the filmmakers and actors page a couple years back. We're like, these are the characters we need for the movie, and she was cast. And so that's how we found her for that initially. But Chicken Coop was just a conversation later because she got involved with the festivals, and I saw her again after a couple of years. James Gameboy for the music. James, I know. So James is not local at all. He's actually in the Northwest, and I don't remember exactly how we met, or how we got to know each other, because we never actually met in person. But he listened to my Final Fantasy podcast and was like in contact about that. And one day I think I checked out his music, and it was good. So that was pretty. Basically same thing happened with Greg Troyan on the last movie. It was just like a podcast listener, and I decided to give him a go. James Gameboy actually did the song at the end of 13th Cross. He did the recording of that song, and he did a really good job. And I was just like, I might actually try to get him to do the score for this next one. I think it would match him well. And so he's doing the score. Timo Elliott's my childhood friend. Like, he was my best friend from the time we were like 5 years old or something like that. So he's a production costume designer. He's actually working in LA. He'll be back and forth helping on the movie as much as he can. These last two guys, the sound guys, for post-production sound, Jake Proctor, who is, we're in talks with him to be on the movie. He was recommended to us from Eric Wood. Eric Wood made a really cool short called The Cave, which everybody should go check out. So look for Eric Wood, The Cave, and you should be able to find it somewhere. And Jake did the sound on that. And I just asked Eric, I was like, hey, who did the sound on that? And then I sent Jake the script, and he was excited about the script. And so we are working around his very busy schedule to get a good sound mix from him. Same thing basically with Craig Carter. I was watching, there's a friend of mine named Jeff Sanders, who's in this kind of southern Utah filmmaking community. He had made a horror movie a few years back, and the sound was all Craig Carter. And I asked him who his sound guy was, and that's who I got in touch with, and found out Craig Carter actually has some legitimate credits. So now all these are subject, so all cast and crew positions once again are subject to change. I would love to work with all these people. I hope that they stay on for the movie. But life happens, and we are a few months out, and so I expect a couple people to drop off the map and maybe be replaced or whatever. So don't think of this as like concrete list of crew positions, but yeah, that is how we staffed up our movie so far. You guys met Caleb Hatton yesterday. I met him through the film festival circuit. I got another guy who might join us in producing, and that's a person I knew in film school. So yeah, kind of all over the place. Definitely in the local filmmaking community centric kind of thing, but all over the place really. And I with 13th Cross, much smaller budget, projected budget. That was all film school folks and open auditions. That's how we got all the people for that movie. And the only difference between now and then is that, well, I've just been around a little longer and I've made a lot more contacts, and so I basically just like widened my net, That's really the difference there. But anyway, that's how we found the people to work on the movie so far. Usually it's from someone I know or some kind of referral. Because I don't know, I think that's kind of the best way to go about this kind of thing. Anyway, guys, I hope that you found that informative. I hope that it helped you in some way. If you guys want to leave a comment below, if you have any questions about filmmaking or anything whatsoever, I'd love to make a video about it. This is going on a little long, so I will see you guys later. I hope you have a good night.